Hi y'all, welcome to a new video. I have done made some improvements to my overhead filming setup, and I'm pretty happy with what I have so far. Today, I am going to try and kick my brain out of this idea that I want these about face sticks. They're really beautiful, they're multi-chromatic. And I think what's getting me right now is that they're being advertised on black, which is not something that you see a lot. They're being advertised and swatched against a black background. So what we're going to do today is pull out some of my really beautiful, creamy, crushy, multi-chrome eyeshadows, and I'm going to put a good amount of black eyeliner on my arm, and we're going to swatch these against black and see if I can't achieve that same effect and kind of kick my brain out of this, oh my god, I want it headspace. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Rachel. I'm an artist. I'm also disabled. I'm neurodivergent. I love makeup. I love makeup that feels like art supplies, that's got that tactileness to it that just makes my brain happy. But I also try to be aware of what I purchase, and I know that even if I buy them, I'll only use them occasionally, and that's just a waste of money, especially when I already have really beautiful makeup. So we're going to talk about these and get into it. Let's do it. All right, so the product I'm trying to talk myself out of are the About Face Holostix. They just look stunning, but I know myself, and I know that I can do something very similar with these. I haven't had a chance to really feature this much, even though it's not available. This is the Danessa Myricks Lightwork 7. I got this for my birthday last year. I do love playing with it. It's such an interesting, fun palette that I haven't really been able to dupe out of my own collection, which is weird. I could have sworn that I had some shadows like these, but I don't. These are all unique to my collection. And then all of these are my Clionadh Cosmetics stained glass shadows. I think what I'm gonna do is go through and pull shadows that look similar to the ones in the advertising images. And we might mix some of these with Duraline to create like this liquid. I haven't really decided how we're gonna go about this because it's an adventure. Who doesn't love an adventure? So what really gets me about these and makes me kind of just want them, but also want to stay away from them, they're only available on About Face's website. I don't know that we're going to use Utopian Dreams because I can't pull things out of it, but I'm going to keep it here just in case. So these are advertised on black. I'm a little chuffed that they don't also show them on swatched on skin, and that is one of the things that makes me dubious. And I don't know that I necessarily want to dupe these shade for shade. Let me see if I can find any more images. All right, so I'm going to put in the video that I'm looking at right now so y'all can see what I'm talking about as far as these being like swatched against a black background. They look a little patchy. Some of them are really stunning. Others are a little bit more thin. And I'm pretty sure that these are being released because it's Coachella season and that these are part of that, but there's nothing showing them swatched on the skin. I'm going to follow my own vision for these and use them as inspiration more than anything. All right, so I went through the marketing image and I pulled out shades that looked like they could be close-ish to what they're advertising here. And this is using a combination of my Clionadh shadows and the Danessa Myricks. I love the diversity of shadows that Danessa Myricks palette has added to my collection. It makes stuff like this a lot easier. All right, so before we swatch these, I am gonna go through and I am gonna do just a row, just a straight line of black eyeliner. And then we can swatch these. You know, we don't really have a goal here other than just to get the shadow sticks from About Face out of my brain. Yeah, I think just a smudgy eyeshadow brush that I don't use very often. And then I'm going to take a shower when we're done with this. There used to be a time where something like these About Face sticks would really get me going. I wouldn't think twice about buying them, and then they would just sit in my collection and I'd use them occasionally. They really just served as a dopamine hit. All right, and this is the L'Oreal Blackest Black Cream Pot Liner. So this isn't anything terribly expensive, and it's not something I use a lot, so I definitely don't feel like I'm wasting it. All right, so we're gonna start with, honestly not sure what this one is called, but it's this brilliant blue from that Danessa Myricks palette. This is going to be a very messy operation. I wonder if taking a black eyeshadow to set this wouldn't be prudent. And I do actually have a very good black eyeshadow. And neither of these are brushes I use very much. So if this experiment absolutely destroys these brushes, I'm not gonna be too mad about it. All right, I think that is as good as it's gonna get. This is Grizzeye from Cleona. You can see it's one of my favorites. I've never really thought of putting these over black. I have no idea which one this is. I can't read these, and I can't tell from the back of the palette which one is which. The palette is all, and I try to keep them in order that they are in the palette, but it's hard. Exothermic. This is a newer shadow to my collection, I think within the last year. Look what happens to that shadow over black. Here we have Roseline, which I've just stuck my thumb into, and Palace. So I'm placing these down on the non-black side first, just so I don't accidentally pick up the black pigment and contaminate. Wow! Just the way the light shift changes when these are put against a darker background. Really, really fascinating. We have Medieval. Love this shadow. Oh, it's starting to look a little patchy, maybe? It is a little crumbly. I hope the shadow isn't going off, but it is building up nicely. And then have Tracery. This is a really like bright, vibrant neon purple. Oh, this is Open Heart. This one is definitely very flaky. I don't know that I'm going to have space for the other three. I might have to put more liner down. Coronation. This one's going to be a little bit more peach, but I wanted to see what it did against this black. Okay. Chalice. Enchanted. Now, the greens pictured are a little bit more jade green. I don't have those shades, and I don't have them because I don't use them. But look at those. All right, I think what I'm gonna do is just put a drop of Duraline on each of them and see what happens, because why not? So Inglot Duraline, if you are not familiar, is a mixing medium. So you can use it to liquefy just about any kind of a powder. Usually powder that has mica or shimmer in it. It's best not to try this with like a face powder. Look at what abrasion is doing with the Duraline under that black. Or over, look what abrasion is doing. It is crystalline. It is a stunner. So what is this blue called? Now that I know where to look for the Mother's Love is this blue. And then up here we have Guiding Light. Then have Rose Line and Palace. So I'm doing 1 drop on the black side and 1 drop on the skin tone side. And then holding my arm sideways and just letting them drip. Can see what's happening with those wet shadows. They're not wet look, they are actually wet. Then have Medieval and Tracery, Open Heart and Coronation, Enchanted and Chalice. And I'm going to go in each of these, wow, with a Q-tip. See if that'll, nope, that's just soaking everything up. All right then, no Q-tips necessary. But I'm loving this dripping effect that is happening, which makes sense because I'm literally dripping, mixing medium down my arm. But I think that this has definitely gotten those about face Holostix out of my brain. This is better than anything I can buy in the drugstore. And I know that like holographic makeup, Coachella makeup is a thing, and that's great. I love that it's at an available price point for a lot of people, but I have already invested the money in these. So why would I use anything else other than what I already have? It just doesn't make any sense to me. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I definitely had fun making this. Sometimes I just need to talk myself out of buying a thing that I don't need, but that I want. And this was definitely a good experiment and a good excuse to play with some of my other makeup. I'm gonna throw these in a palette and see what happens over the next few weeks. And I think this is the first singles video that I've done featuring these shadows from Danessa Myricks. So that's a lot of fun. I'm dribbling onto the table. Oh, but it's so pretty. I just want to walk around as like this dripping, glowing, gorgeous goddess all the time. Why can't I? Well, it would get all over everything. So that's why. All right, friends, that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up, like and share, subscribe, all of that fun stuff. I hope you are taking care of yourselves so you can take care of each other, and I'll see you all in my next video. I don't know how to wave upside down. Bye, friends.